The sun rose slowly over the horizon, casting a golden glow across the forest as the young man named Alden prepared himself for the journey that lay ahead. The village elders had spoken of the girl trapped in the cursed woods, a place no one dared to enter, for it was said that those who ventured too far never returned. Alden, with his heart full of determination and courage, decided he would be the one to break the curse and rescue the girl. He stepped into the forest, the air thick with an unnatural stillness. The trees towered above him, their twisted branches creating an eerie canopy that blocked out the sunlight. Each step he took seemed heavier than the last, as if the forest itself was trying to stop him. But he pressed on, driven by a sense of duty and a faint hope that he could succeed. As Alden moved deeper into the woods, he began to feel a presence watching him. Though he could see no one, he felt eyes on him. The sensation made his skin crawl, yet he refused to turn back. He came upon a clearing where the ground was covered in strange flowers. Their petals, shimmering with an otherworldly light, they seemed to pulse in rhythm with his heartbeat, drawing him closer. He knelt to examine the flowers, but as he reached out to touch one, a voice echoed through the clearing, soft and melodic, yet filled with sorrow. "You should not be here," the voice said. Alden rose quickly, scanning the area, but saw no one. "Who are you?" he asked, his voice steady despite the unease that gripped him. There was no response, only silence that pressed down on him like a weight. He continued onward, following the faint trail of footprints that appeared on the ground ahead, as if guiding him through the maze of trees. The path led him to a small stream, its water crystal clear and sparkling like diamonds. On the other side of the stream stood a figure cloaked in white, her hair flowing like a river of silver. Alden called out to her, his voice filled with urgency, but she did not turn. Instead, she walked deeper into the forest, vanishing from sight. Without a second thought he crossed the stream, his boots sinking into the soft earth as he chased after her. He called again, this time louder, but the forest seemed to swallow his words, leaving him with only the sound of his own breathing. The girl reappeared, standing beneath a tree that looked ancient and gnarled, its bark etched with strange symbols. She looked at Alden, her eyes, like pools of moonlight, filled with sadness and something else he could not place. "Why have you come?" she asked, her voice barely above a whisper. "To save you," he replied, his tone resolute. The girl shook her head, a faint smile playing on her lips. "You cannot save me," she said, "because I am not the one who needs saving." Alden frowned, confused by her words. Before he could ask what she meant, the ground beneath him trembled, the air filled with a low hum that seemed to emanate from the tree. The symbols on the tree began to glow, their light growing brighter until it was almost blinding. Alden shielded his eyes, but the girl stood unmoving, as if she were a part of the forest itself. When the light faded, he found himself standing in a different place. The forest still surrounded him, but it felt less oppressive, the air lighter and the silence less heavy. The girl stood nearby, watching him with an expression of quiet understanding. Alden felt a strange sensation in his chest, as if a weight he had carried for years had been lifted. "You carry a burden," she said, stepping closer, "one that you have tried to ignore. But it has grown too heavy. It is why you came here, not to save me, but to save yourself." Her words struck a chord deep within him. Memories he had buried began to surface. The guilt, the regret, the fear, all of it came rushing back like a tidal wave. He fell to his knees, unable to hold back the flood of emotions he had tried so hard to suppress. The girl knelt beside him, her presence a soothing balm to his wounded soul. "You cannot change the past," she said, her voice gentle, "but you can choose how it shapes your future." Alden looked at her, tears streaming down his face. "How do I move forward?" he asked, his voice cracking under the weight of his emotions. She reached out, placing a hand over his heart. "By letting go," she said simply. As her words sank in, Alden felt a warmth spread through him like sunlight breaking through the clouds. The forest around them seemed to respond to his transformation, the trees straightening their twisted limbs, the oppressive atmosphere lifting. Replaced by a sense of peace, the girl smiled, and for the first time Alden felt hope. He stood, the weight that had once bowed his shoulders now gone. He turned to the girl, ready to thank her. But she was no longer there. Only the sound of the forest remained, alive and vibrant, as if it too had been freed from its curse. Alden knew he had not saved her, for she was never the one in need of rescue. She had saved him, and in doing so had shown him the path forward. Alden emerged from the forest a changed man. The villagers who had once looked to him as their savior now saw him as a beacon of hope. His story of the cursed woods and the girl within became a tale passed down through generations, a reminder that sometimes the greatest battles are fought within, and the truest heroes are those who find the courage to face themselves.